pink eye. So having OCCK transportation as a little backup has helped so many people really get that last minute call. And we've tried to stay as flexible as possible for that opportunity. We've also increased the trust with passengers, going from when transportation was offered through the senior center to now OCCK having a new phone number to call, a new dispatcher to talk to. That can be kind of scary. And so we've tried our best to uphold every single call, even if it's in 5 minutes or 20 minutes from right that moment. We've tried to build that trust so we can keep people moving. One of my favorite things, APTA, the American Public Transportation Association, recently did a study. They have increased the return on investment for transportation from $4 to $5. And they found that with employment opportunities and by polling the riders, how much they were spending at their destinations. So maybe it was medical, maybe it was shopping, maybe it was grocery and nutrition. So they had a nationwide study. So those numbers aren't specific for Kansas, aren't specific for Concordia, but it is on a nationwide scale from rural transportation all the way up to metropolitan transportation. So that's a pretty big deal. All right, now our rides last 6 months, so from July to December, we had 4,270 rides. That's pretty stinking awesome. And that's right where I kind of predicted us to be, kind of in that 8,000 for a 12-month period, but we only had 6 months last year. And now from January to our early cutoff in June, and February was a really, really cold month. So people just weren't interested in getting out as much. And we stopped for our fiscal year end June just a little bit early. So we had 3,857 rides. If I had not cut off a couple of weeks early for our fiscal year end, we would have had almost the exact same rides for that 6 month period. So we are truly helping a consistent population with transportation. We're seeing it gradually increase. February was a low month because it was just so darn cold, and we saw that across all of our services. 81 Connection, Abilene, Salina, everything was included in that one. All right, now a little bit about the demographics. Last year, I only had about just shy of 3,000 rides to share demographics on. Now we've got closer to 8,000. So these numbers are going to look a lot prettier and a lot more accurate with those. So medical, we have 43%. Last year when I shared these numbers with you, I only had data on 18% medical. So that is a huge opportunity that we're getting people to the hospital here. And through our partnership with Salina Regional Health Center and their affiliates, those rides are completely taken care of for free for them. Then work at 28% of our rides. Before, that was 11%. So I'm very, very thankful. People are opening up to why they're going to each of these places so I can bring you better data. So I'm super appreciative of that. Nutrition is 10% and education is 3%. We did see education stay about the same. We had helped a kiddo get to school. And then we also count the library as a destination in education as well. Now our passenger types, general public, people do not have to answer the question of why they're needing the ride. If they're 60 plus, or if they're disabled in some way, some do share that information. And we're looking at about 20% of our ridership as elderly, that's 60 plus, and 24% is disabled. So that might be blind, deaf, using a walker, maybe using a cane. It could be wheelchair, any type of mobility device. And then continuing on with those passenger types, 77% are ambulatory and 23% need a wheelchair or some assistive device.
What, can you go back
Yes.
to that one?
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
all passenger types? What does that mean, ambulatory versus?
Sure. Ambulatory means somebody who could walk on the bus.
Oh, okay.
They might need a little bit of assistance, but ambulatory means they can use their own way to get on the bus. Wheelchair, we kind of lump that together. Anybody who's needing that lift, anybody who needs a little extra assistance. If you're somebody that is ambulatory, but that day your knee's really hurting, you can ask to use the lift. But as we're bringing people on, we ask a series of questions just to help this data. They can elect not to answer, but that definitely, when they're needing that lift, it helps us because we like to plan just a couple extra seconds or at least 1 minute. So we make sure that they get to their destination on time if we are needing to lower that lift to get them to where they're needing to go.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a transportation word. I don't think about explaining it very often. So I'm so thankful that you asked that. Okay, our Medicaid service goal. I have ended our fiscal year and my team is not done crunching those numbers, but we're looking really stinking close to that Medicaid service goal for our 6 months here. Anybody who has Medicaid can call their Medicaid provider and request OCCK as their transportation, and they will put that in a portal. We accept that trip. We're committed to it. We never miss a trip. And so anybody that's in the Concordia area, I have tracked those numbers and I put that towards our Go Concordia funding. It's really great opportunity. Some people are going to Salina, not Salina Regional, holy moly, going to Cloud County Health Center. Some people do go to Salina for long-term care and might be Tammy Walker, it might be dialysis. And so I'm really tracking those numbers to see who we're influencing in Concordia to help our funding out. So like I said, I don't have those numbers because we just ended our fiscal year, but when I checked, we were really, really close. So about every 6 months, we're looking at $1,500. I am expecting, we just accepted another longer term trip, which at any moment the passenger could say, hey, I'm not going to have that treatment anymore. Hey, I have a different option. We just expected a longer term treatment that is going to provide some solid funding for us. I did not include those because it's up to the passenger and we've only just accepted that. So in the next slide, we have our Go Concordia 2023 budget. I will let you read through all of those numbers. I will not list those out. One thing I would like to point out is the gas and oil. That number looks terrifyingly high to me, but we did have to increase those numbers to $5 per gallon, and we buy just over 7,000 gallons for this service every single year. The staff salaries, leadership, dispatch, and drivers, that number always looks intense. About 129,000 of that goes to Concordia locally, drivers, the dispatcher we have here. And then I have about 33,000 of that going to my accounting team, helping fund our supervision, our backup dispatcher. Then going on to that other side, so our total budget expenses is $243,000. $849. Our KDOT match funds 70% of that match, which would be $170,694, making that local match $73,155. Now, I'm expecting fees and fares for a 12-month time to be about $6,000. My guess, as we've been increasing, that number will go up. Each ride is $1. I would like to increase that to $2. That would make it consistent with all of our services. $2 in some cases can be quite a jump for certain people. Other cases, it's no problem because it's definitely cheaper than a couple gallons of gas. So that is something that we are internally analyzing. We would hope, if we are able to move forward, we would hope that that would start July 1st, and we would see a huge jump in the funding that would take off from that local match through that increase. So if everything went perfectly, it would look more like $12,000 in that case. So that would be very, very helpful. Now, Salina Regional, $1,000 is allocated for that. We are giving a lot more rides than just $1,000. So I'm working with Salina Regional, their foundation, to negotiate some opportunity up here. We are in the middle of those. So I went with that 1,000 because that is a solid number that I could give you without guessing and keeping any of us short. Now, our expected Medicaid billing for a 12-month period, that is that $3,000 that I let you know about. If I can get that to go up, and we are doing some outreach and networking to educate people on the fact that they can call us to help them, we will increase that number as well. So after all of that, the total match is $63,155. Now, we are going from zero to hero. Once again, that is a very, very large jump. We have some money in reserve, so I would like to make an official request for $25,000. I understand if we are not able to get there because you have a lot of funding to decide on. I would like us to make the first step in creating that sustainable partnership. I would appreciate any commitment. If we can make it to that 25, wow, let's celebrate together. If we can make it some of the way, that's amazing. And then we can continue a plan to grow each year as services grow, as we grow together in providing services to the city. Do you have any questions for me?
Not at this time, but as we get into our budget planning sessions here next meeting, if we have any, we'll let Amy know. And
Absolutely.
she'll get that information. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you all very much.
Okay, next we have the Cloud Court quarterly report.
Okay, I did print out a few, but does everyone have it on their iPad? Okay. So Amy had reached out to me and let me know about the second quarter report, and I said, it's fine, I don't mind doing quarter one, as I had kind of taken over the reins a little bit in February when Kim left. I don't want to sit here and reread everything to you. I know that you've already had a chance to look it over. Basically, February through March, I was receiving the Get in the Cloud receipts and the project expense reports and submitting them to the county so that they could be paid for their projects. I've been working with Amy, coordinating the locations and the meals for the housing study and attending those meetings in January through March. I did write a letter of support for an ag business development. I know I have talked to all of you about the YEC challenge, our luncheon, and then obviously Amy's also been keeping you up to date on our housing study workshops. We had an annual meeting, our stockholder meeting in March, and the end of March, I did submit the application to become the e-community with Network Kansas, and we knew that we wouldn't find out until June. And I know the last meeting I was at, I was very excited to announce that we were accepted as an e-community with Network Kansas. So we look at the second quarter, April through June. I've worked with land owners to update our lowest website as needed. I've been working with North Central Regional Planning Commission in Beloit to offer the courses that are available, offer our office space, help coordinate events and meetings here in town. And actually, just last week, Connie Sear, that did take over the administration of the Federal Home Loan Bank, she held a meeting at the Cloud Corp office that had 30 people that are ready to receive that Federal Home Loan Bank funding, which was exciting to see that many people show up. I know I had typed a little report in here about where we were at with the Federal Home Loan Bank, because Kim did pass that on to North Central Regional. The money is still going to Cloud County residents, and Connie Sear is the administrator of that. Amy and I have been staying in contact with the possibility of some development. I've done a site submittal with the Kansas Department of Commerce for a possible dairy. Where I attended the entrepreneurship challenge at K-State. We had one high school team this year and a few from Cloud County Community College. I really want to see that program picked up. I really am planning to get out into the schools in August and go talk to even the middle school teachers. I would like to see the younger kids get more involved. I did go to a summit recently about the YEC to get ideas, and some of the ideas that were discussed talks about how to make that trade show, which the Rotary partnership turned out great that night because the people of the Rotary were showing up to come and look at the trade show. But we thought, how can we get more of the community involved? Some suggestions are you set up the trade show during parent-teacher conferences. One idea that crossed my mind was, let's set up the trade show during our Cloud Corp luncheon and have our businesses that are coming to our luncheon, they could have a people's choice vote of what business they like and talk to the kids. And the point of that YEC challenge is to start getting younger kids, even 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, excited to be entrepreneurs in our small rural communities. The most latest recent exciting thing was we offered 4 businesses the Get in the Cloud funding, which was very exciting. We had Clyde represented, Concordia represented, Meltonville represented, and Glasgow represented. The county commissioners, when I did go and present our slate, I did have to visit with them about revisiting the amount because they had issued us an amount in April before I was announced as the executive director. And we presented our slate of what we wanted to fund them, and they liked the projects and they thought that they would make the funding work, and they did vote for us to fund what we had suggested for those 4 businesses. So that was super exciting. And all of the businesses are very excited to get started on their projects. I did just last week host a childcare informational meeting over in Clyde. It was targeted for all of Cloud County. We wanted to have it in Clyde because we know they are down to 1 childcare provider. We also know that they have people driving to Concordia to drop off their kids, driving back to Clyde to work, coming back to get the kids, and then going back. So we're trying to come up with some ideas. And Dane Hansen was part of the meeting. Cloud County Community College had 2 representatives there. Child Care Aware was there. It was a great meeting. Things are buzzing with that. I met with Child Care Aware today. We're going to host a child care hub in the beginning of August where they present information to people that are interested in childcare. So we're really trying to get things moving. I have some interested individuals that want to start daycare in Clyde. So it's just trying to take the reins and help get them going in the right direction. So they have plans and they have ideas, and it's just kind of trying to pull it all together. Very excited about that. Our positions that were open, we currently have offered the vice president's position will be voted on at our next meeting. We've offered our position 5 at large to a community member, and this person has accepted, so they will be ratified in. I have offered the administrative assistant Broadway Plaza coordinator position. My next step with that is talking to my executive committee about that, and I'm very excited about this hire as well. Broadway Plaza Week in June was a great success. Broadway Plaza Week in July is coming up very quickly. And then where Cloud Corp is going, we revised our mission statement. We know that we want to work on a strategic planning effort. We're working with Betty Johnson, and Betty had said, you know, we need to pick 2 things and focus on those 2 things, and you revisit them. You take notes, you listen to what your community, you listen to your entrepreneurs, and you take notes, and then you decide, do they match up with our strategic efforts? I have been really concentrating on the housing and the daycare since February, with the housing study taking place, and then the Project Little Rascals that had started last year when Kim was there. So trying to work on those 2 things right now until we come up with new strategic planning efforts. Our e-community funding is now available. So the next step is getting all of this in order, an application, going and talking to all of the bankers, having a bankers breakfast to let them know what this is all about. Sarah LaRoche of Network Kansas will be coming to host that, and I'm meeting with her on Friday to discuss our next steps with the e-community. So I know I probably skimmed through a lot of this. I know you've probably read it all. Do you guys have any questions or thoughts to share with me?
On this point, thanks, Nikki.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Moving on to our action agenda, the minutes of the June 15th, 2022 meeting.
I'd move to approve the minutes. Well, you can't go. Okay. Motion done.
So is there a motion on the floor?
Probably not. It'd probably be better if somebody else made a
I
motion.
move to accept the minutes of the June 15th, 2022 meeting. Second.
Okay, there's been a motion by Commissioner Hash, a second by Commissioner Belvin to approve the minutes of the June 15th, 2022 meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, motion passes. Appropriation ordinance number 12.
To approve appropriation ordinance number 12.
Second.
There's a motion from Commissioner Belvin, a second from Commissioner Wentz to approve appropriation ordinance number 12. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Authorize the signing of the FAA grant agreement box hanger.
Mayor and Commissioners, we've been talking about this project for a while now, and we did already authorize Benish to proceed after we knew that we were receiving the award. So this is a formality to actually accept the money from the Federal Aviation Administration. And they will be awarding us a maximum federal grant obligation of $156,028 for the box hanger design. Looks like I missed half a sentence there, but for the design only of the 80 by 80 box hanger that will be constructed out of the airport. And as a reminder, the reason that we're building a new hangar is because we were able to attract larger planes to our airport with the new longer, wider runway. Now we have demand to house larger planes at our airport, and our existing hangars do not have the capacity to house a larger plane. This is another item that was on our master plan from the update in 2013. The next item on the list. As far as income, the city would receive a ground lease and a hangar lease to help recoup some of the costs that gets invested into this. There is a match required by the city, so the FAA will fund 90% of it. The remaining 10% would come from the city's CIP, and we do have this item listed on our CIP. So tonight we would ask for you to authorize me to sign the grant agreement to accept the award from the FAA.
I move to authorize the city manager to sign the grant agreement associated with the FAA AIP grant offer for Blosser Municipal Airport in the amount of $156,028.
Second.
There's a motion by Commissioner Hash, a second by Commissioner Lambert. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, you wanna. This says the maximum federal grant obligation, $156,028 for the taxiway rehabilitation.
Yeah, that's the second half of the sentence that I missed
Oh,
Right,
okay.
use that one as a
That's what
template
you
to
meant.
create this
Okay.
memo. So
Okay.
instead of saying for the taxiway rehabilitation
It
project, it
should be
should say for design of
hanger.
the box hanger. So I
Yeah.
apologize for that mistake.
Okay.
This grant is for the box hanger design.
No other discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Resolution 2022-2138, release of insurance proceeds for 717 Olive Street.
And Commissioner, this is just a final step in the process of when you have insurance proceeds on a fire damaged house and it's all been taken care of and safe and lots clean and actually been resold, I guess, so. And release the proceeds, but we have to have a resolution to do it, so. It's resolution.
I move to approve resolution 2022-2138.
Been a motion by Commissioner Wynn, second by Commissioner Belvin to approve resolution 2022-2138. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Demo program application 521 is
This one, as you can see from my condition report, it's a little bit tough to see, but it is in pretty bad shape and based on what's called dry rot, just mold deteriorating it from the inside out, basically. But I think it qualifies for the program, and we can do it based on the lowest bid, $7,700 from. I can't remember who that bid was from. Oh, Snyder Dozer. So our recommendation would be to accept it into the program.
I move to accept the application for 521 East Ninth into the demolition program and authorize the city manager to sign the contract with the owner based on the lowest bid of $7,700 from Snyder.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Belvin, second by Commissioner Hash. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Demo bid for 429 West 8th.
This is ongoing process of condemnation on a pretty bad shape house at 429 West 8th. And we have two bids, one from Deal Enterprise, that's the one from Dalton Dirt Works, Dalton Snyder. And lower bid on that was $8,550. And I was pretty pleased with that bid because back when we were trying to figure out how much money was going to be left with all the stuff coming up and accepting the last two alternates into our, when we had to increase our match into the CDBG grant, I estimated this one to be 15,000. So, or 15 to 20, I figured. So, but this will help our program. Will allow me a couple more houses maybe under the demo program. So, I would recommend we accept that bid for Deal Enterprises.
Is this immediately east of one that we brought down a few years
Correct.
ago?
That was the one that Wells Fargo gave us $10,000 and the house.
I think there's been a lot of good effort in that block. This I think will help.
It's the only bad one in that block.
I move to approve the bid from Deal Enterprises for $8,550 for the demolition of 429 West 8th to be funded through the CIP.
Second. Motion, or there's a motion, not a commotion, a motion by Commissioner Wynn. So
I can make a
sorry.
motion.
So sorry.
I'm kidding.
A second by Commissioner Hash. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Okay, thank you. Managers report.
Mayor and Commissioners, I was excited to drive downtown today and see the first of the concrete being placed in the 6th Street parking lots. The west curb was formed up and poured today, so we're excited to see that. So far, so good. According to Ken Johnson, we're working through some submittals, picked out some brick colors yesterday for the light pole bases. So that color should match the front of the Brown Grand. I didn't realize at the time that with him yesterday. The brick on the front side of the Brown Grand on the 6th Street side and the west side are two different colors. So we're going to go for matching the front side. That's our plan. Also, I expected to receive a draft copy of the housing study by the end of June, but by rural staff had some family emergencies, and so that's a couple weeks delayed. But they are still on schedule and planning to present the formal public presentation to you on September 7th. and then to the cloud core board on September 20th. That's all I have for tonight. If you have any questions, I can answer them.
Staff reports. Okay. Mayor, commissioner comments. Marcia?
Yeah, had a great weekend celebrating Independence Day. We took the girls to the pool on Saturday. Just it was a great day for a swim. Lifeguards were respectful and just neat opportunity. Went to the city firework display Sunday night. I'm not sure if anybody saw it, but it was a pretty remarkable show. I think it lasted for like 30-40 minutes. It's pretty impressive. Appreciate being able to do that. And then the night of the fourth proper, had an officer stop by the house, which maybe for the first time in my adult life was not called for by somebody else. Officer Cato stopped by and gave the kids different badge stickers and tattoos, and just gave that opportunity to meet with the kids and meet some of the neighbors. And I saw them at a house across the way kind of doing the same thing. So I'm always reminded how fortunate I am to live in Concordia, how fortunate we are to be in this community, especially when things in the world seem pretty bonkers. It's nice to be here.
I don't have anything.
I just wanted to congratulate our city attorney
Oh,
for tying the knot. Yeah, congratulations
Thank you.
on the record. Okay, and that is all we have. So we'll move into executive session.
I move that the city commission recess into executive session to discuss employment personnel issues pursuant to the non-elected personnel matter exception KSA 75-4319B1 with Amy Lang, Justin Farrell, and Eric Voss in attendance, and to reconvene in the city commission chamber 6:45 p.m.
Second.
There's been a motion by Commissioner Lambert, a second by Commissioner Wentz. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes.
It is a short week. It works.
No action was taken.
I move that the city commission recess into executive session for consultation with an attorney for information to be privileged. In the attorney-client relationship exception KSA 75-4319B2 with Amy Lang and Justin Farrell in attendance, and to reconvene in the city commission chamber at 7:10 p.m.
Second.
There's been a motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Wentz. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes.
Oh, they don't make that here?
Again, no action was taken.
I move to adjourn to a study session to discuss utility vehicles and golf carts on city streets.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Hatch to adjourn into study session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, we are adjourned.
You need to bring Corey up a bit. Are you good to go?
Chuck?
I'm good. Our city attorney is a break.
We'll go ahead and introduce this. I know he'll be back in here shortly.
I would
So
go watch the golf. Those guys do it. Thanks, Bruno.
You're welcome anytime.
all right, so study session on operating utility vehicles, golf carts, et cetera, on city streets. So this is something I think that was brought up several months ago, and commissioners, you asked us to take a look at it to see about making golf carts legal on city streets. And we're looking at that for a couple of reasons. One was there are a number of folks who go ahead and drive their golf carts from their homes to the golf course here in town. And another reason is just with the recent spike in gas prices, some people may view these as alternative modes of transportation that may be more economical for them. So we did a little bit of research, looked at a couple of different